Relax your mind, let your conscience free. Slow down to the sounds of Doc and R.O.D. The E-R-C-K is my name, I spell. I specialize in women that's waiting to exhale. Put them under my spell, no magic tricks, just a magic stick. Change your life so drastically. Whip out the wand whenever chicks get mad at me. Tap them on the wound, shorty, let's get us a room in the middle of downtown. Perfect view of the moon, so I can make comparisons. Do some to you embarrassing, yeah. You don't want your girls to know that. Hickeys in hidden places, no, you can't show that. Making them love faces, you don't want me to see that. Eagle through the roof, they call me the night stalker, and I shorty here's the brew. See how wet you is, see how hard I is. Girl, I handle my biz.
Girl, and let me take your coat and let that white Zinfandel trickle down your throat. Use the clowns in your ears going on and on. You need a break, so I'ma serve you from dusk to dawn. Today's your day, so baby, follow the path. Then lit the candles, ran the bath. No boss, no kids in here to get on your nerves. And by the hour, baby, dinner is served. And after dinner, you can head to my room. A dozen roses, your favorite perfume. You ask what's next, so baby, don't you know? A full body massage, your head to your toe. Lay on your stomach, sweetie, close your eyes. Then did your shoulders, back your thighs. Spread it, girl, all over my chest. Lay on top of you and finish the rest.
Girl, you need a break. Yeah. Girl, you need a break.
Old school, I can handle your kids. Keep the youngest in line, let them mingle with mine. Shut them down, tuck them in, all by dinner time. Now it's you and me time, you grind, I bump. You remind me of something, he ain't loving you right. Keep it moving with the girl, leave behind that chump. Put his hands on you later, I'll find that punk. You don't need him anyway, I got everything you want.
I'ma show him how to do the math he just don't get. Open doors for the ladies, old school respect. Teach him chess, how to earn and live within his means. Cook a steak, cornbread, a batch of collard greens. Plan a vacation, it's just for us. You and I on the beach, cute time, a must. I'll give it to you, rain, sleet, or snow. I'm calling in today, I ain't gotta go.
Girl, you need a break. Yeah. Girl, you need a break. Yeah. Girl, you need a break.
Welcome. What's happening? Welcome to the Unity by Default show, where I'm one half of your host team, DOCILLR, and this is
Lady T, a.k.a.
Pinky.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Man, what's happening? Got a lot going on in the world today, and we had to take a week off. I had some things to do last week. Turn that down. Okay. Let me make sure all my notifications off. But today we got a topic, an interesting topic, and go ahead and put it out there for them.
Some did the right thing with the wrong person, and some did the wrong thing to the right person. All right, so let's give you a few examples about that. Say like you gotta, you want to be this good guy or girl, but you're being a good guy or girl to the wrong person. This person's no good. They're not right or whatever. And for whatever reason, why you date them or marry them, it's not carrying you through the relationship. You find out once the representative come off and you get to see the real person, and you be like, whoa, I think I married the wrong or got with the wrong person. And then, you this bad person, manipulative person, deceiving type person. You're doing all the wrong things, but you got this right girl or guy in your life, and you treat them like garbage. So you're doing the wrong thing to the right people, but you're doing the right thing to the wrong people. Why is it that we, kind of go this way? It seems like it's so opposite attract or something, as they call it. It is amazing how why can't the right guy meet the right woman, or the right woman, you know what I mean? Why is that seem to be the issue sometimes? It's always a chaotic, type of situation, like a clashing type stuff.
Because people ain't taking their time. People are not taking their time in relationships. The art of courting has went out the window. It's like Kevin Samuels said it best in the video. He said that a lot of the women in the West don't deserve to be courted. Not like they did back in the days. Back in the days when you went courting to somebody, you was basically courting like a virgin, and that person was being groomed to become a wife. And now,
what she called traditional, back in the
right. And now you don't have that, but you got women that want a traditional man, and it's usually by default. Ooh, shout out to Unity by default. They want a traditional man by default after they devalue themselves by giving another man the best of them. This is probably the most repeated thing that I heard on the Kevin Samuels video. Like, why didn't you marry the father of your children or your child? And they say, well, I was young. Well, when you were being courted young, because it was usually somebody that was older, that was maybe well-to-do, that could take care of that young person and help mold them while she bared his children. And I mean, that's just my way of looking at it. Just watching my grandmother and them, my mother and them, and all of these people traditionally from the South. I watched it coming from the South.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so my father was from the South. And I mean, the way that they did it versus the way that it's being done right now is night and day, because we got all of these new obstacles in our way, and we got the internet. We got everybody in your business.
We got all the movements that's going out there, women movements and things like that. That's creating a different narrative and things like that. So it is amazing, at this point where we are, being able to really choose someone or be chosen by someone, but we don't have, it's like our values, our values have changed so much morally, respectfully and integrity wise. And definitely we have almost completed or deleted the traditional ways of things, and everything is at a chaotic, dysfunctional, toxic type of manner. So I think that we can go ahead on and just get started on, just because it's about 9 topics, and I think all the topics that he displayed is going to carry out through the show today, and it's going to be vice versa, so just not one way. All right, but the reason why we leaning more to the women's side, because that is what's more highlighted more than men. It's almost like men voice are being definitely deleted. More so is, they're not, their voice is not being heard as much as like our voices are heard more than men today now. It's like the coin had flipped. All right, where men voices were heard and women just had to sit back in the cut. So we have, just a pendulum type thing. So we have to just put it out there just to see whether or not we can come to some solution, because that's what it's about. We don't want to be bashing no one. We just want to come to some solution, put some things on the table, and hopefully, they will, just hopefully we can, like going to the grocery store. You got more than one item or brand. So you just got to pick one that suit your situation, and hopefully we can get this some. Please share the video. Please share, like and subscribe.
Right, like, share, subscribe. Najee says, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, rahman tu Allah, barakatuh, brother. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Najee? And please comment, share your input. We're dialoguing. That's it.
This one here is so interesting because no matter what you say, it's almost like you're taking a side. And I don't want to get into the battle of the sexes, like
It's
wrong
not
or
about
right.
the sexes.
but-
We should be dialoguing. We got to come to a happy medium. We know that these narratives, I call them narratives, that's out here. And we can buy into a lot of them. We get very emotional about some things because they fit certain people's situations and circumstances.
You just said
And
the magic word.
situationships.
You said emotions. Because every time I have a conversation with the opposite sex, the number one term that I hear is, well, I feel. See, now, hold on now. We didn't, why we got to get into what you feel? See? Well, I feel. And why can't we just spit the facts on this? Like when I listen to Kevin Samuels videos, I be like, he be hitting you with the facts. Be like, listen, this many percent of men and women and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and this and that, and this is what the data says, and never is it, but I feel, and I normally don't hear men say it, so I wanted to bring it up. I just wanted to put it out there on the table now, so.
So no man be like, I feel.
Nah, you're not finna hear that. You hear that, then that's like a warning sign right there. I'm just saying.
That's
Not that I'm against anybody that feels, but.
That's funny. But it's not a man or woman bashing. It's about dialoguing and see how we come. How can we just change the narrative just being put out there, and that we can come up to a happy solution that can correct some of the situationships, relationships.
Give me one good example of somebody doing wrong to the right person.
I just explained. I mean, he could be.
Nah, I just want one good example because if you had,
Man, he just said it can be vice versa. And a woman can and a man can fit the same category. If you out on just some sexual stuff, or if you just out on just I'm just trying to get taken care of, or whatever. You being manipulative, conning, deceiving for whatever reasons. And you may do this to the wrong person. He or she may be really digging you and liking you, but you already know your motive for why you're in a relationship, but they don't know. And so, you dogging them out, you taking advantage of them, and you doing all kinds of things to this good person. And we get this all the time. If you're not going to treat that person right, and they're a good person, you need to step back and be like, no, I can't do that person like that. How many times do you actually see two people of the same kind connect?
Well, again, supposedly opposites attract, right? And that's not necessarily true because if that were, then you'd see the quote unquote fine person chasing the opposite of what they are then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how often does that happen? That happens from men to women.
Well, it happens. It happens majority. It's be a lack thereof when it don't happens. Somebody's always chasing after the opposite of what they are. They're
The men used to be the pursuers. Now the women are the pursuers because of the ratio of women to men and incarceration and let's see, how can I say this and be politically correct? I'm going to just leave that one off the table.
But seriously, what did Najee saying though?
I'm not finna have no.
They attract.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what we need. We need that. We need a third opinion on this. Good stuff, Najee.
Funny.
It's in the right world. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. There you go.
But
Jenna.
So we just want to talk about a few things and just to see whether or not we guys. We can go right into the video. Let's get started.
Which one you want to hit?
Let's go with the young lady first, right quick, and then we go into the canvas singles.
Okay, so we got a short clip for you. We're gonna play. No. What was it? The single
What's
mother.
up? Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Here we
Yeah, but
Yeah, because you got two
I
kids.
so it's just the two kids
No,
thing. Like,
it's not just. It's big. I mean, you're 30 years old and all this career stuff. But where? How many different fathers?
one,
Okay. How come you and he didn't get married?
I was so young when I was in that relationship, so I met
Okay.
him when
How
I
old is
was
your
really
oldest
young.
child?
10,
How old is your youngest?
7.
So you were 23. That's
When
not
I
young.
had my daughter. Yeah. So my kid's father, he was older than me.
But
And
listen to what I'm about to say. You were younger. You were old enough to make babies.
yeah.
First one at 20, even though I'm not okay with it, you can let it slide. But the second one, man, that's a choice. Why didn't
Yeah.
you?
No, we were in the I was with him for like 6 or 7 years.
But you weren't his wife, and that's a
No.
difference.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, she had 2 kids. First one at 20, second one at 23. But she said she was young. So the whole thing is, and Najee just said, if I'm a freak, I want a freak. And that's usually a choice that you're making, and you're making it young. Now, when you're making that young choice, and 20, that's usually college age. So you've gotten through high school, you've made that choice, and you had a baby. You had a baby at 20 years old. What? I don't know. For me, if I had a kid at 20, I'm looking at the responsibility I got to take. I'm looking at all of the things that I got to provide. So most likely, if I had a kid with her, this is probably what I'm setting up to be my family. If I have a second child with her, I'm definitely looking at this to be my family. So I think after the first one, I probably would have been looking at marriage. But she had 2 kids by this guy, and it doesn't seem like marriage was on the table.
Well, so
But she
let's
said
rewind. Let's rewind when it comes to traditional, because women back in the day were already prepared and ready to be a wife at 15, 16, 17 years old. So by that
Exactly.
time they get there, they already know. And this again, wrong thing with the right person, right thing with the wrong person. Okay, so so by the time she got to 20, and I can respect what Samuel said about it becomes a choice. You made a choice to have, kids by this young man, and this man had a choice to plant his seeds in her. So this is not no one way. There's 2 ways. All right. So you plant seeds in her twice. But not one time you say, I gotta wife her. She's the mother of my children. I took the best thing from her was her virginity, or I took the best thing. She gave me the best things that she really could give me. That's why that sacred act really we have to be very mindful, women, of young ladies, of who we procreating with and who we actually having sexual intercourse with, because you have to think outside the box. Would he marry me, or am I marriage material, or is she marriage material? Again, wrong thing with the right person. Right thing with the right person, wrong thing with the right person. Because both of them did the wrong thing, but they but the end result was it was what they did the wrong thing. Both ways, tell you the truth, wrong and right, wrong each way, because you didn't have kids before marriage, and back in the day, in baby boomers' day, that would be considered a bastard child. You had to be married. All right. So it's like, when do we stop the madness about just having kids, just be having kids? When do we be accountable, or when we become accountable for saying we need to parent these children? Why is this being so chaotic when it comes to just out here just creating children just for the heck of it? When we just be like, she's the mother of my children, I want to make sure I take care of her and my babies.
I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, 20 years old, how much maturity are we talking about at 20 years old? Now, G says, I agree, but sex is a tool. Ooh. Oh, boy.
That's true.
Society paints a picture. Why should I buy the cow when I can get the milk for free?
Mm-hmm. And that's what happens when we go into relationships and we start moving in with each other without any boundaries set or setting some type of goal. That's what happens. If you give up, like if she give up the best things that she has, which is that sacred act of sexual intercourse or virginity, you gave up the best thing of you. That's why I was talking about before that, you know, when you break a woman's virginity, you gave that your first guy that pearl of you. And these are some of the things that mothers need to convey to their young ladies. Everybody don't get that first time. That's why back in the day, they hurry up and marry their daughters off because you took her virginity. So you can't just be passive about that.
Well, when you look at it, and you think about it, and you're talking about virginity, you're talking about kids now who having their virginity broken at ages that's just unheard of. It's a very slippery slope here because the same values are definitely not coming into play. The same morals, characteristics, family structures, all of that seems, to me, in my sight, today, in today's household, is so broken it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Because it's almost no values.
Yeah, and that's what we're losing right now today. And this is why we having this, you know, pendulum things going back and forth, you know, recycle toxin, recycle, you know, just dysfunction. And it has to stop at some point. You know, and it's many relationships where some people just sticking it out because she's a mother of my children. Well, for them kids, I wouldn't be there because you unhappy with the mother. But she had my kids. But I got to hang in there because she did that. But he's an unhappy person.
So
or
is he
same
doing
things
the right
with
thing with the wrong person?
Exactly. And then he's doing the right thing.
He got a responsibility.
Yeah, but now he got a responsibility. He owning it and he's taking accountability. But he's unhappy at the same time because he wasn't a woman that he thought she was, or he wasn't a man that she thought he was.
It's a little late to be thinking about happiness when you done gave her your seed, and that's critical. You know, a lot of people don't look at it in the same way. A lot of women think the men just like, hey, you know, I just spread my seed wherever, but that's not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. Because you have such a wide, you got such a high percentage of men that are single and childless. Mm-hmm. So that means that there's either still some values out there, or it's something else going on, and it could be that whole other pendulum where it's swinging the other way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And usually that's a result of sexual abuse. And it work both ways. It work against boys and girls. But it's interesting nonetheless. This is, oof.
Yeah, but see, that's what's going on today in a lot of relationships. There's a lot of unhappy individuals in relationships, and it's usually because of representative. And just like she said, she was young and thought she was doing the right thing and thought the guy probably was going to marry, I guess. And I've seen where men have 4 or 5 children by one woman, go off and marry a whole different woman, you know, and left that woman with them 4 children. But again, who fault is that? Is it her fault? Is it his fault? Who fault is it? You know, and so
I think after the first child that there should be expectations. I think before the first child there should be expectations, and you have to make them, because women control sex.
Yeah.
Kevin says that repeatedly. He said, mm-hmm. Women control sex, men control whether we're going to be in a relationship or not. So it's like a seesaw. It's ups and downs to both of them.
You know, the worst thing to think with young women today, they think that a baby is going to make a guy do certain things, like marry them. And you can't, and again, just like I'm going to go back to him saying that sex, it now becomes a tool. Now it becomes transactional. Now it becomes a toxic situation. But see, there's lack of knowledge. And these are the things we got to sit down and talk to our young people about, that this can possibly happen. And how do you think when you choose a guy? You know, I can say, as me being a young mother at 23, that because of what my mother taught me, that even when I dated a guy, I thought I looked at this guy overall, not just by what he can provide or things like that, but is he a good person? Would he treat me right?
Oh,
You know, a lot of different things. You gotta choose wisely, and this is what's happening today.
Man, Jihad says, I agree, but mothers don't know how to be mothers. Wow, when they wasn't taught how to be mothers. So how can we change the narrative?
Yeah.
To change the narrative, you got to start from scratch. You got to start.
Exactly.
You got to start from scratch with the youngest generation that you have right now, and I don't want to say expect the worst and hope for the best. Teach them what you know, and hope that they'll make better decisions.
Well, just like this one grandmother, what she did was she said, you know what, I went wrong with your mom. Guess what? I can't let that happen with you. And that's what we got to change. We got to make sure the generation that's coming up now, we have to change it back. See, we changed it. Just like they taking our prayers out of school. They took this math out of school. They took phonics out of school. They done took a lot of stuff out of school. A lot of stuff been taken out of homes. We have to bring that all back. Because we thought we was actually doing something fancy. Oh, this the modern way. This the new way. This the way we do things today. No. What worked with our grandmama and them, mama and them, you know, the things that they call so bad is why Generation Next is probably the last generation to receive those principles of morals and integrity. We're going to have to bring that all back. We took it out because we want to do more for our children today. Give them more. So they have that sense of entitlement. And what we have created, like we created, because we want to take everything out. So we got to put it all back. You know, we got to put those principles and morals back, and that's what's happening today. You know, young mothers then is totally different with the young mothers today, because they're looking at certain narratives from television. You know, when we were coming up, we had structured television programs. We wanted to go to college. We wanted to do this and that. We wanted to be productive. You know, but what they're seeing today on television is molding and shaping their mindsets to be the way they are today. And so we have to take a stand and be like, no, we have to monitor, you know, the things that they're looking at, the things that they're doing. And no, you know, we have to be in touch with what's going on the now, but also the things that worked in the past, the things that went on and made who we are today, Generation X, is the same thing that they need today as well. You know, we have to be informative. We have to give them knowledge and everything, and which is stopping right now. You know, so again, we are doing the right thing. Like you got male and females that have great principles and morals, but they're giving them to the wrong people. You know, and I wonder if there's an underlying situation. They said always the good guy was finished last. Well, the good guy got to also get certain things out of his mindset. You cannot take a hoe and turn it to a housewife unless that's something she want to do. Same thing about a man in the streets. It got to be something he already want to do. You know, you met him in the streets. You saw the way he was. So you're trying to wife this man, be good to this man that is a street guy, or he's a hustler, or he's whatever type of guy he is, manipulative, conning. You know, we're trying to be right to those guys, or we're trying to be right to them women.
So,
you guys on fire with the
what do we do
comments.
in a society with no morals or values? Each one teach one. It takes a village to raise a child. And Sakara says at the end of the day, it's choices and decisions. You can have all the morals and scruples possible.
You can have all of the morals, values, and scruples possible, or scriptures probably, and your choices and decisions get you where you are.
Yeah. So at the end
So
of the
I mean,
day,
I want to interject right there, just like the prodigal son, and I'm just going to use that allegorical story. You have to put in them, and this goes, and I found out this to be factual. You must put in them all of it, the principles, the morals, the structure, the format, the path, all of that. Trust and believe every child that went astray, that wind up coming back to something. See what's happening. You're throwing them in the streets. You're not teaching them nothing. So what they coming back to? They have nothing to come back to. You must set that foundation first. And if later on, they will come back to that. I truly believe in that they'll come back to that. You know, and with, you know, being very strong mindset, being a person that pray without ceasing, you know, knowing that they're going to get their life together. You got to stay positive. And you got to speak into them. You know, you no longer going to be this type of child or this type of person. You're going to get it together. You got to speak life into your children, and you can't give up. So I kind of just, you know, don't want to be negative when it comes to that. All right, y'all comments on fire.
the fact that you're pouring into, it looks like you're pouring into like broken homes now. So what if you come into the situation where you have this ready-made family already intact, but when you try to pour in some positivity and something that's going to be beneficial, but you come up against opposition?
You know, that's so true. It's unfortunate that that happens. Again, wrong person, right thing with the wrong person. And here it is, you got this guy. He's willing to come in and be this father figure, you know, being the savior. But yet your kids is unruly. You allow them to be disrespectful. You know, they feel a sense of entitlement. You expect more from him, but you didn't expect more from the father of those children. You know what I'm saying? You putting the weight on this guy who's willing versus the guy that you gave children to. And so some of these women don't allow the stepfather to be respected. They looked at him like, you just a man here. No, he's more than just a man here. This is a man who stepped up to be the man that is not here to give you that balance in the household. But we don't realize that. Most women don't realize that until they lose that man. And when they lose that man, then they see, like, wow,
So
I had
in
a
other
great
words,
guy and didn't know I had one.
you gave your best to the first, and now you expect the best out of the latter, but he's getting the worst treatment.
Exactly.
And it becomes a seesaw, and it's back and forth. So now you got a couple of broken people.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa. Same thing about a woman. A woman come into a man's life, and she's being a stepmother, stepping up to be the mother, a better mother than the mother of your children. And again, you're treating her like garbage. Same thing, because I've seen children on that side. The children on the father's side treat the stepmother like crap. You know, and you allow it. It takes a man to set that foundation. You're going to respect this woman. This woman needs to be respected. Again, being an enforcer. He had to be an enforcer and enforce that I set my rules and these are rules here. That's why we are finding that most men are better at parenting than single mothers and
Sometimes
and couples together. And I'm finding out this to be true, you know, personally, from my perspective of what I've seen thus far. You know, because men are more solid sometimes, you know, and then when you're in a couple, you always have the woman on the side giving her views or intervening, you know, and things like that, instead of her allowing him to be the man that he needs to be, you know, or sometimes he doesn't allow her to be the woman or the mother that she needs to be, you know. So that's why we have these, you know, opposite situations, you know, and there are a lot of unhappiness in the household because, you know, of the fact that we have lost our way. We lost the principle. We lost the morals. We lost the integrity, you know, because what they're seeing today is something that didn't went on. I mean, it went on, but it was just respectful, you know, but it was all about, okay, let's take the clothes off now. Because, you know, I done seen dances where my mother and them they was twerking, but they had a long dress on, you know. So now they was like, shoot, we need to really see what y'all doing up under that dress. So we are losing the respect. And just like, just hearing these narrative, like for a woman, for a man to respect, you got to first respect yourself.
So
We the most disrespectful to ourselves than anyone is a woman. And it goes back to that, what's the one that's got on with the Ursha, what was her name?
Keke Palmer.
Yes. And she's with a guy. Is he doing the right thing with the wrong woman? Again, we have to, and that's been all over. That's been trending right now,
Yeah.
And, it's amazing. You got a man that love to look at it, but would he wife her? And I asked a question one time to a young man. I say, how do you like her? She's fine. Yeah, she banging. I said, but would you wife her? He's like, oh, hell no, I wouldn't wife her. Or have no kids by. But I will, do my thing. And that's something that women needs to hear. How a man feels about you. Really. Some men be like, yeah, I bang you. I get on them draws all day long. But I will not wife you, or I will not have no children by you. And women need to understand that. Now, some men do get caught up. And that's usually your good guys. Because you have this, you always wanted this fetish, and you got caught up. Because now she done did some things to you that you that you didn't have, and you caught up, and now you got kids by, and this is a life. Once you get a child, y'all together forever, so we have to really, really sit back and just think about the things that we're doing, make the right choice and decision, and that's based upon what you know. So a lot of young people growing up today don't know enough, so that's where we are.
So you want to go to this?
So we're going to listen to some narratives from Kevin Samuels. And by the way, I want you guys to know that Kevin Samuels played on both sides. It wasn't just one way. He was both ways. He got on the men first before he started getting on the women. And so again, we just want to bring the perspective where it's vice versa.
Najee is calling in.
Okay. And
hold on, Mr. Jihad. Let me Okay. So Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Jihad.
yeah, so why he's getting this call?
Well, we're gonna call him back.
Yeah,
That's
so
what happened.
again, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And we would love to hear the comments from you. You guys are on fire with the comments. All right, we appreciate that.
All right, we're gonna call Mr. Jihad back.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, rahmatullahi barakatuh. What's going on, brother?
Hey, hey.
Man, y'all have a very deep conversation going on right now. That steals back generation, man. It's like wow.
Yeah, when you think about it, man, you can remember times when you was in your fetish mode, and you know times when you're mature. And the age of maturity is what, Jihad?
Age of maturity is well, society says age 21, but in all actuality, age of maturity, you don't start reaching maturity to you in at least in 33.
Yeah, and according to the Holy Quran, it's 40.
Correct, absolutely.
So if they're telling us this, if they're telling us it's 18 to 21, is it so that we have an expectation to reach our peak by maybe 25, 30 at the latest, and if we haven't done it, we can just fall into this slavery system? Or is it, or do you got another analogy for it? Because I'm thinking some kind of way about this.
Set up.
Well, one, this is where when I listen to you guys, I got a different kind of outlook, especially for our women, our sisters out there.
Okay.
One is we send our kids as soon as they turn 18. First thing we want to do is put them out the house.
Yep.
We want an empty nest. But what have we did to prepare them to get in?
There you go.
That's the thing.
We haven't done that. We immediately throwing them to the wolves. We throwing them to society.
Factual.
And
Haven't
we doing to them what was done to us, and nobody's changing the narrative.
Haven't taught them financial responsibility. Haven't taught them ownership. Haven't shown them how to acquire the things that you need in life. In other words, you're victimizing your children by putting them through what you went through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like when the co-host was talking earlier, and she said something about how grandma trained the child. We had big mamas now then. Now the big mamas ain't that much older than the child.
There you go.
Yep. And that's what's happening today.
But that's the narrative that we see because of social media.
Yep.
The hell box TV, all the American society sells dreams of rich and famous without morality.
Yes.
Just like with a lot of these guys get contracts, they have to sleep with other men. Women have to do unhumane acts of sexual gratification to get a contract to be a movie star or to be a singer or anything like that.
Yep, go up the ladder. You want to go to the next level, you got to do X, Y, Z.
The morals and values is not there anymore. In the Bible it says, train a child while he's young, so when he grow old, that he will not depart from it. When you mentioned the prodigal child, we got to understand that prodigal child was over 30 when he left the house.
Yep, his dad put the morals and principles in him, and he knew once he got out there in the wilderness, he knew to hurry up and get back home. And then and they're gonna do that. But when you throw him out there and he don't have nothing, he may not make it back.
You're right. You're absolutely right, and I agree with you totally. Just like earlier, y'all talking about women and men having these relationships and having children, and then leave their house, and the guy go and find somewhere else instead of sticking it out and trying to fix the problem. In today's society, we don't learn algebra equations anymore. They learn 1 + 1 = 6 without me being part of that 6. That's what they're learning today. They're learning that, hey, if I want to get a reputation, I need to kill somebody and go to prison and get my name on that stone and come back and think I'm this and that. Or if I want to make money, I need to get on TikTok and show my body and sell sex through the internet. Morals and values is not there anymore. When I grew up, you either go to church or get your butt whooped. It wasn't no get out or no third answer.
Right. I want to read this comment Sakara just put up here. She said, even if Big Mama is not much older than the grandchild, if Big Mama is ratchet, then the grandchild is going to be ratchet. I know that to be a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I know that to be a fact.
You're just recycling. I mean, somebody have to break it. Yeah, when you know better, you do that.
Yeah,
Actually.
facts. And
somebody had to break it. Somebody had to break the cycle. Somebody got to break the dysfunction.
So I'm looking at this whole thing and the scope of it, and what's happening is we have nobody taking responsibility right now.
Yeah. That's because they're made negative okay.
Yeah, and plus you got this thing that they call the cancel culture, where if you say anything to anyone, you can instantly be canceled. That's why we have a platform like Unity by Default.
You got negative shows, you got negative music, you just got negativity all over.
Yeah.
And so they thinking this is the norm. They don't even think it's okay. And they're doing a great job by desensitizing us to the point we don't even feel anymore, like, numb. You know, anytime you get to the point where you be like, another person killed, oh, well, it's just another person. Person got shot, person got killed, somebody got robbed, somebody this. You just talk to, like, this just a norm. Like, you don't see anything wrong with that? And this is what's happening. We're being desensitized from, you know, what's good to what's bad. And so we have to, when they say we're definitely almost the last generation teach us right, that's probably about to be factual, because somebody have to stop it, you know. So, and somebody had to stop it. Somebody had to stop it. You know, my mother was a young mother, and she decided, she's like, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that ain't what you want to do. You can recycle this if you want it, but I'm letting you know right now, you're on your own. She didn't want to carry that. My mother was a young mother and married. You know, so we got a lot of our principles and more from that. And to have all our children by one man. So that's just what she stood on. That's why I believe in planting principles and morals in a child young, because they will go back to that. They always go back to what's being said. But if we get, like what Shakara said, dysfunction, dysfunction is going to keep being recycled. So at some point, somebody had to stop it. Same thing about bad habit. I don't believe in this. If my mother got cancer, you got cancer. You got diabetes, you got diabetes. It runs in the family. No, you got to change what's causing that in the family. Well, I know that my mother and father had diabetes, cancer, and all that, and this is what they ate, and this is what they did. Is, you know what? I'm about to stop that.
Ooh. Not necessarily. It depends on the assignment of the soul. Now that's heavy. Going deep. That's taking it to a whole nother level. Yeah. Going deep. Yeah. But that's actually a fact too.
Yeah. That's deep. That's
because man, if your soul is not,
who's that?
It's just in.
Come on now. You came on in right on time. Just in. Oh yeah. I love that. And that's factual. It is assignment of the soul. You know, and
but we need.
And I'm gonna take a little deeper for you too, Justin, since you just in and you want to go there. I want to go there with you too, since you want to go there. You know, a lot of assignments that you come here for is either for a past assignment, and your past assignment you might have to come here for corrections. All right, and you had to correct what your last assignment was, and so that you know you got to make sure that you do that. But if not, you're gonna keep coming back until you get that assignment finished. All right, so a lot of people come back because of karma.
So now y'all talking music language.
All right, let's go.
What you call it? That's what you call it with the song "Deja Vu."
Yeah.
Tina Marie.
Thanks for calling in, Najee.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, brother,
I'm
man.
Get out there
we appreciate that.
Shoot it out to a lot of people out on Instagram, so y'all guys can.
We appreciate that.
Oh, okay, man. That's good stuff. Mm-hmm. Just because the grandma's ratchet doesn't mean the grand will.
That's right. And that's why I say you have to stop somebody. A child going, that's why I say a child going to see it. Somebody in their family going to see it and be like, I'm not about to follow that dysfunction. I'm going to stop it. And you're right. It may not necessarily mean that, you know, but, you know, some cases it will happen. You know, you might have 3 grands that do it, and the other one won't.
It's important to communicate with the child. There is so much to learn from the children. Yeah, and they're growing up in the technology phase where they are more inclined than the adults.
Say this, Felicia. Hey, with Felicia. All right, what's going down? And of course, you know, and you talking about indigo children, you know, when they're coming here brilliant. They come here brilliant, and there's a lot to learn from. If you sit back and sit still, they show us so much. What's up, girl? How you doing, Felicia? Yeah. But again, you know, we just want to get to a point where we got to learn something. Someone got a hold of
Someone
say
got-
the child, or the child smart enough to know that's not in the norm, right? Right? That's not a norm. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
And that person was on that grandchild's path to make sure, because they came another way, and so it had to astray. It's just like being on a tree. You got that one tree, you got all those branches from that tree, and then that one branch get to be broken off, and you take leaves and you put them in a whole different pot of water, starting to grow its own tree. So yeah, so we want to go on just here.
Man, we ain't even hit the what you call it. We ain't even hit the. You see where I'm going? Firm believer that we can turn it all around. It begins with one. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, when we looking at it, yeah, it's got to start somewhere. If you see that there's a wrong path that everybody's taking, and you have that foresight to, you know, change directions and do something different, then yeah, you can definitely be the beginning of something great.
Yep, absolutely. We can all learn that teach if we. Ooh, yes, that's right.
Ooh, yeah, this is a deep subject, and we almost at the hour. That's
Yes, we-
what's crazy.
okay.
Yeah, look,
Oh, man.
we 52 minutes in.
And this is just so you. This goes to show you how, you know, we have to come to some happy medium here, you know, because we can't, as we can see, it's not working. Our method is not working, so we gonna have to change something.
We had a movie a long time ago. It went over everybody's heads, and it was called "Do the Right Thing." But for me, man, that's been my life mission.
Yep. Do
So
the right thing.
yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's not hard. It's never wrong doing the right thing.
Yeah.
No matter what people say, no matter what kind of trouble you can get in with the law, no matter what people do, man.
Just do your best. Try to do the right thing. Say the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the best you can.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get distracted a little bit. You might get off track a little bit, but be able to pull yourself back in. You know, but again, he says shit that's happening in our community is for real. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking about that, I mean, that's what the whole television thing is geared towards anyway, though.
Mm-hmm.
I've been noticing that for a very long time, and the radio as well.
You know, right now, you know, the need of attention and the need of attention in a wrong kind of way. Like, it's like you get, like, more views get viewed with negativity versus positivity. They don't want to see a lot of that.
Hey, it's like somebody had put it up there and said, man, you got sort of like on Boys in the Hood when the young man was about to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Party wasn't for him. The party was for dude that just got out of jail. And man, that was a super party. Everybody came to that party. They flooded it. They, man, having the time of their
Isn't
life.
that crazy?
But the things that's being celebrated is, you know, it's funny because later on in life, like when you get into your 40s and your 50s,
Mm-hmm.
that one that went to college and all of that,
Right.
he'll be starting to get looked at by those who, you know, who downplayed him
Mm-hmm.
and celebrated
Right.
the dude that just got out of jail.
Yeah.
But now you bringing over this family, and now, and them same people that was Kevin Samuels was doing the image consulting for. Like, man, he's training them not to accept that. Like, oh no, you ain't got to accept that, brother. You deserve better than this. You went out and did what you were supposed to do.
Exactly.
Now, you don't have to look at that. You got to look at that what you once considered a trophy as, man, like a piece of aluminum foil now.
Right.
Ain't no diamond in that rough.
Exactly. You know, you can be as fan as all outdoors. You can be a man that will be all buffed up, but when you get the level of maturity, I'm glad you did. Reflection, self-equity,
Man,
awareness, empathy. Embrace and question the judgment that arises. Absolutely. You know, and this is where we are right now today. You know, being able to, you know, ask the right questions when you are dating someone, you're meeting someone, and I think that parents should get into their young adult business. What about that? You know, back in the day, pops used to be like, let me meet that guy you with. You know, mothers would be like, let me meet that guy you with. Let me feel him. Let me make sure they good. I sense something wrong about them. You know, I remember that back in the day.
Let's visit that for a second, because there was a reason that Pops was able to do that. Because in order to talk to that girl, you had to call on Pops' phone. Now Pops then bought daughter a phone, and she can take her own phone calls.
Right.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
you can't intercept them calls no more.
Yeah.
Because he used to be like, who is this calling my
My
house?
house.
And don't call my
Yeah.
house after 10 o'clock.
Exactly. Now
But
they on the
ain't
phone.
no more of
24.
that.
Yeah, we got to be tactful and creative. We can be like, listen, the phone over here at 7, 8 o'clock. You're done with the phone. You don't need the phone anymore. You know. So we just got to figure out creative ways to, you know. I'm just saying, even still, I'm saying him. I got to meet this guy face to face. I need to sit down and talk to this guy. You call yourself liking, you want to be with, love, marry, whatever. You call boyfriend. I got to meet this guy.
Yeah,
face
I
to
say
face.
bring him on over here. Bring him over here while I'm cleaning my gun.
Same thing about
We
the
can
women
sit down and have some talk.
with her sons. You know, let me sit down and see what kind of woman you dealing with. Like, no, son, you and it goes back to a story that I heard personally. You know, the young man was like, this young guy was dating this young girl, young girl. They was young at the time actually, and they was getting busy. Boy, she was treating him real good sexually. He was like, man, lost his mind. This went crazy. You know, and he always stayed broke. He was a young man making good money, but he stayed broke all the time because he was dishing out his money to this, you know, young lady being a little wild. But his father intervened. His father intervened with like, son, you see that girl over there? She likes you. And she's mother material. She's wife material. She may not be as attractive as that girl or sex you up like that girl, but that's the one you want to choose. He intervened. He's like, and that's the one you're going to have a life with. You're going to have a house with. You're going to have things. You're going to have money in your pocket, all that. And then he looked at his dad, and he valued his dad's opinion, and he married that lady. And he said today he glad that he did, you know, because, you know, where she turned out to be today. So intervention is good if it's possible. And hopefully, again, just like Felicia says, that if they listen. Because sometimes we can see things, you know, parents can see things, you know, from a certain kind of perspective. But yeah, that was pretty cool that, you know, that person was able to share that truth with me. And I was like, yeah, you have to intervene sometime and hope they listen, you know, and you don't want to have, you know, sometime they come back, man, I should have listened to you. Mom, I should have listened to you. Daddy, I should have listened to you. I wouldn't be in this trouble I'm in today. You know, and hopefully that'll help them listen to you more without making that next mistake or decision or choice.
Let me ask you, I want to ask the people, do y'all think this is a topic we should piggyback on and come back and revisit this? Because
well, you do
y'all
part 2
get
next week, because
yeah,
I'm telling you,
y'all
fire.
get busy in these comments for real. I'm talking about, they lighting it up. We had a good call in from Jihad. Man, we already
Hey guys, you can call in 708-844-8429. We'd like to hear from you.
Man, we had 59 minutes. I'm like, damn.
We didn't even get
This
to
hour flew by. We didn't even get to the first cut from this.
So yeah,
hour.
we're gonna have to do part 2. Again, wrong thing. You know, doing the right thing with the wrong person, doing the wrong thing with doing the wrong thing to the right person.
Right.
You know, and this is what's happening. And so this is how this dysfunction keep recycling around until we be like,
When you know better, you do better. If you don't know, your choice and decision may possibly lead you somewhere you don't want to go. And that's a fact, because, yeah, that's definitely facts. But when you don't know, it's hard to determine. But once you've made that choice, you got to live with your decisions. So, with that being said, man, we just hit the 1 hour mark and we are out of time. But I want to go out on a high note. We came in with Girl, You Need a Break. I think we're going to go out with family time, because it's time for us to take our families back. It's time for us to implement into the youth what we saw growing up and hope for the best. Continue to plant the seeds and water the flowers.
That's it. I'll take it as small as a mustard seed. You'd be surprised.
But,
all right, bro. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm extremely happy with what I've seen so far. Y'all snapped in the comments today.
Absolutely.
Jihad, thank you for the call in.
Yeah.
And like I say, for me, it's out and dry.
Sakara say, for me, it's cut and dry.
Oh,
no
cut and
gray
dry.
areas.
Okay.
Exactly. You know, you don't have to go through. When you get to a certain age, that's pretty much how it is. When you're young, you got the narrative. You got the representative trying to be more. You can be trying to be impressive, all that kind of stuff. When you get to this age, it's cut and dry. That's just it. That's all.
Oh, where's my family time, man?
Thanks for tuning in. Again, please like, subscribe, and share. All right. Thank you for the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your calls. All right. So we'll see you guys in. Don't forget, you can always call in 708-844-8429. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Thanks. It's nice hearing from you, Felicia, Shakara, everybody that tapped in. You know,
Najee. We had some more people on there.
Yeah. We can't see them all just yet. But we thank you guys for tuning in and dialoguing with us. Yes, part 2. Yes, part 2.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2 next week.
All right. We're going to hear from you, Chicago, next week. We got to hear from you. You dropping bombs.
All right. With that being said, well, there we go. Family time.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
I reminisce on the days when my pops was big. I was a little man, just a kid, fantasizing of being grown. Voice high, can't impersonate his vocal tone. Cleaning the yard, it was the worst. Main thing that he stood for was family first. He made sure that we got together, both sides of the family in any weather. A great cook to all who love to eat. Banana pudding was his special treat. In my eyes, he could do no wrong. When he was here, family bond, it was super strong. Martico, Wilbur, Ellen, Ron, Pat Butch, Essie, Uncle Don. Smile hard when these thoughts I get in my mind. Best days of my life for my family time.
Looking back, family had better ways. I miss those yesterdays. Reminiscing on Saturday. Weekends like holidays. Guitar that sang the blues. Live life, nothing to lose. Gonna be smiling and feeling fine. Nothing like family time.
Week said knocks on the door. Mama says, Kendall, get up, go to the store. Yes, ma'am, don't wanna cause no drama. So I smile, get up and say, okay, mama. Hit the block as I ride my bike. Spot a girl down the street that I know I like. Check my clothes cut and my breath. Make my approach like I'm fresh to death. I'm smooth, respectful, and I got style. I think I'm in cause you cracked a smile. Come on over, what you got to do? Families having a big barbecue. Oh, that's all screwed. You wanna go, just say you will. Old man Big Jew, he controls the grill. Miss this is a major loss. Granddaddy clean scales made the secret sauce. Have a taste, pocket jumps, everything is fine. Family gets charged up for the Soul Train line. Do the spade, the robot, and the bump. Old timers will tell you to shake your rump. Happy smiles, not a single frown. Give the DJ a soft buck and slow it down. Hands on my shoulders and mine are hips. Looked in her eyes as I kissed her lips. There we go.
Family had better ways. I miss those yesterdays. Reminiscing on Saturday. Weekends like holidays. Guitar that sang the blues. A lot of fun. Live life, nothing to lose. Smiling, feeling fine.
Nothing like that family time. Hitting the road to southern states. Lunkin' Pecans, Georgia place. Eva, Grandma, Willie B, Uncle James, Aunt Rosie, and Uncle T. Hey Joanne, Barbara Jane, and Uncle Rick. Scott the Buick, they so slick. There's Ray and Sammy Lakes. Remaking German chocolate cake. Uncle Fred, Edna, my Aunt Regina. Uncle Mike, who's back home from Virginia. Hey, Auntie. So geek that I will continue. Throw my hands in the air like a lottery winner. Uncle Junior ain't Johnny, mate. Everything in the world seems A-okay. So many paths, I can bring you back. Look at family photos and rewind the track. Looking back.
Family had better ways. I miss those yesterdays. I reminisce on nothing like family time. No, weekends like holidays. Yeah. Oh, can we go back? Can we go back? Whoa, 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 whoa.
And you can pick up Lessons in Life at all of the major outlets: Amazon, Google, Apple. Every place that you can buy music, you can purchase Doc Hiller, Lessons in Life. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend.
Peace.